Education to order, please. Call the roll.
Okay, Ms. Collins?
Here.
Mrs. Jarrett?
Here.
Dr. McFadden? Mr. Monk? Mrs. O'Neill?
Here.
Mr. Rickman?
Here.
Mrs. Walker?
A quorum has been established. Next on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ready?
Next on the agenda is citizens' comments. This is the portion of the meeting where you, the citizens, can address the board with any of your questions, comments, or concerns. We ask that you come to the mic, state your name and address. Be mindful that you have 3 minutes by which to ask your questions or make your inquiries. Be mindful that you may not receive a response to your particular inquiry tonight. Last but not least, I ask that you may address all questions, comments, and concerns to the chair. The agenda is now open for citizens' comments. Second call, citizens' comments. Last call, citizens' comments. We are on Zoom also. Mr. Lindenberry, there is, okay.
Deb, go ahead. If you want to make a comment, your mic is unmuted. Nope, we're good.
Okay, last call, citizens' comments.
Oh, you got it, or
Yes,
it's right
thank
here?
Hearing and seeing none, moving the agenda. Next on the agenda, item 5, public hearing on proposed budget for 2021 school year and 2021-2022 school year and 2021 tax rate. Item A under 5I, agenda item 5 is discussion of fiscal year 2021-2022 budget. Mrs. Beals.
I'm actually going to have Mrs. Potter do the presentation for
Okay.
us.
No problem.
Good evening,
Good.
ladies and gentlemen, and members of the board. This is our budget hearing for our 2021-2022 original proposed budget. The first item on the agenda was an informational item, which we shared with in the meeting last Thursday at the workshop of the whole regarding some possible things that could happen in Lansing with the ESSER 2 and ESSER 3 grant funding. I am happy to report that it looks like Lansing is about to pass their proposed solutions for that, and so we don't think it will be a concern for us moving forward. And so we'll proceed right away into the general fund budget.
This is a public hearing, so questions can be asked from the audience regarding any information that's disseminated during this session.
Okay. Beginning with the general fund budget. The budget is the spending plan for the district moving forward into the next fiscal year. It was worked on by the administrative team, and it is a plan to improve academics, communications, finance, operations, and facilities. Beginning with our revenue projections, revenue is expected to be up by roughly $6 million over last year. And the main reason for that are ESSER 2 and ESSER 3 federal grant funds that are directly related to the COVID-19 pandemic. We are using a student count of 802 for our fall count number. And we are also conservatively using a $50 per pupil increase in the foundation allowance. Along with our projected beginning fund balance for the 21-22 school year, this means that we have $23,644,846 to appropriate. In basic programs cover your elementary, middle school, high school, preschool, summer school, special education, and compensatory education expenses. We are projecting an increase in those expenses from 7.9 last year to 9.2 this year. And this can be explained by grant funding expenses that will be related to ESSER 2, ESSER 3, and federal title grants. Moving on from there, we have support service expenditures, which are reflected as slightly down. And this can be explained by some staffing changes and the fact that certain grants have not yet been released, and the district will not budget for any amount of money that they do not have a reasonable expectation to receive. So as those grants materialize, we will address that in a budget amendment. Moving on to administration, we have a slight increase in administration. Administrative costs include the Board of Education costs, auditing costs, legal costs, as well as employment costs for the superintendent's office.
Talking to the mic.
Please.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Moving on from there, we move to business, operations and maintenance, transportation, and central services. For all of these, we have some budget adjustments that can be related to staffing changes. We are expecting to see an increase in special ed transportation costs moving forward. And we also are going to see some changes in our IT department because we will not have the need in the future period to buy as many technology devices as we needed this year in order to handle the pandemic. Moving on from there, we are looking at athletics, community service, building improvements, and others. The athletic department is hoping to run as a normal school year next year, and so these costs reflect all of the expenses for coaching and equipment. Community services include equitable share of our federal grants with our private schools, as well as those items we expect to be spending on outreach programs through Title I. Building improvements are up dramatically because the district has a long-term plan to use ESSER 2 and ESSER 3 funding to address some urgent needs with our infrastructure, mainly the middle school roof, kitchen repairs, the phone system will be upgraded, elevator repairs at the secondary complex, as well as HVAC and mechanical improvements for air quality control throughout the district. And other really represents issuance costs related to our state aid note, tax advance note if needed, and debt funding. So our projected outcome at this time is for us to end with a fund balance of 6.6%. This is a 1.1% increase over the projecting ending fund balance of the 2021 school year. Administration is asking that the board approve the budget as presented. Moving on from that, we have our cafeteria fund. Cafeteria is sometimes called the special service fund, and it is a separate fund from the general fund by which we operate our food service program. At this time, we are projecting that we will end the year with a $98,000 fund balance. Some of that may be used to repay the general fund which is covering the cafeteria fund in the current year. We are conservatively estimating that at a $65,000 repayment. However, we've just become aware of some special funding coming through for cafeteria that may enable us to pay that back at a much faster rate. We are asking the Board of Education to approve the special service or cafeteria food service fund as presented. Finally, we have the Student Activity Fund. This is a brand-new fund for Mount Clemens Community School District. This brings us into compliance with GASB 84, which is a rule that was actually supposed to go into effect last year, but waivers were granted because of COVID-19. And it represents the amount of revenues and expenditures we project having over the course of the year for our agency accounts. At this time, we are projecting a $20,000 influx of revenues and a matching $20,000 outflows of expenses. And we are asking the Board of Education to approve the budget as presented. That concludes the portion of letter A, Mr. Rickman.
Are there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
What was the projected fund balance increase from last year? I got the 6.6, but what was the,
5.5
it was 5.5, like, so one.
for the current year, 5.5. Yep.
Thank you.
And the year before?
I'm sorry,
And what was it the year before that?
1.9.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Continue.
Moving on then to letter B, this is just to inform the public and the board that the Board of Education has already passed a resolution in November of 2020 to allow the district to levy taxes for summer taxes only. And the Form L429 is the request for tax levy to the local tax authorities. The district did have a hedge built in, but we do face every year Headley millage reductions, which this year are at 0.9926, and so we will be levying for general fund revenues 17.9258
Please talk into the
for
mic.
this summer.
Talking to the mic, please.
Please.
I'm so
talk to the
sorry.
mic. Yeah.
That is down from 18.0000 from last year. And for debt funds, we will be levying 11.8000 for the debt. We do need to get this form into the local tax authorities as quickly as possible because they're preparing their invoicing for those summer taxes starting next month. And so we are asking the board to approve these levies as presented.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions, discussion from the board? Hearing or seeing none, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
So moved.
Moved by Member Walker, second Member Collins. Call the roll, please.
Okay, Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Ms. Collins? Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Jarrett? And Mr. Rickman?
Yes. Motion carries. Call the meeting of the Mount Clemens Board of Education to order, please. Call the roll.
Okay, Ms. Collins? Here. Ms. Jarrett? Here. Dr. McFadden? Mr. Monk? Mrs. O'Neill?
Here.
Mr. Rickman?
Here.
Mrs. Walker?
Here.
Dr. McFadden texted me and said he's en route. A quorum has been established. Next on the agenda, the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, Next on the agenda, citizens' comments. This is a portion of the meeting where you, the citizens, can address the board with any of your questions, comments, or concerns. We ask that you come to the microphone, state your name and address. Be mindful that you have 3 minutes by which to ask your questions or make your inquiries. Also, be mindful that you may not receive a response to your particular question or inquiry here this evening. And last but not least, I ask that you address all questions, comments, and concerns to the chair. The agenda is now open for citizens' comments. Second call, citizens' comments.
Try my best, Patrick, to speak into the mic. Christy Nickel, I am MCEA president. My summer residence is 27757 Delton. I'm in Madison Heights. I no longer reside in the high school as normal. I just want to congratulate our 3 retirees, Linda Conti, Patty Montgomery, and Deb Caligieri. And thank them for their years of dedicated service, and thank them from our union as well for their dedicated service. So congratulations, ladies. I know a couple of you are here tonight, so I'm very happy to wish you good luck. Thanks.
I got a question to you, Christy. Do you know how many years of service they each have?
Yes,
Is that in my book?
it
Well,
is
and I didn't look at it?
but Ms. Tomlinson is gonna talk about that.
Okay.
But combined, they have 98 years of
Yeah,
service.
that's what I was, you know.
Thank you.
Combined, which is pretty
I didn't have it in
amazing.
That's okay, no problem. You know. Thank you for your comments. The agenda is still open for citizens' comments. Last call, citizens' comments. Hearing or seeing none? Moving the agenda forward. Next on the agenda, these are action items. Item 5 under the consent agenda. Item 5A, approval of the minutes. 1, May 19th, 2021 special meeting. 2, May 19th, 2021 regular meeting. 3, June 10th, 2021 board workshop. 5B, approval of bills for payment. The chair would entertain a motion relative to the consent agenda. Moved by member Jarrett,
Support.
second by member Walker. Any questions, comments, discussion on the motion on the floor, and that's to approve the minutes of the May 19th, 2021 special meeting, approval of the minutes of the May 19th, 2021 regular meeting, approval of the June 10th, 2021 board workshop, and the approval of bills for payments. Seeing or hearing none, call the roll, please.
Ms. Jarrett?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Ms. Collins? Mrs. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, the motion carries. Action item 6, Curriculum and Personnel Committee. A, recommendation for tenure. So, let's see, we'll handle these individually.
Yes, we are recommending tenure for 5 teachers. The first is Jean Gulliver. She's our STEM teacher at Seminole. Juliana Simpson teaches 1st grade at Seminole. Andrew Busher, he is our high school English teacher. Laura Dessingning Iavaldi, she teaches Spanish at our high school. And Terry Gearing, or Teresa Gearing, she is our instructional coach at Seminole.
The recommendation from the administration is to approve the tenure of the 5 teachers that she just named. The chair would entertain a motion relative to the agenda item 6A, recommendation for tenure.
So moved.
Moved by member Walker. second by Member Collins. Any questions, discussions on the motion on the floor? Seeing or hearing none, call the roll, please.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Ms. Collins? Yes. Ms. Jarrett? Yes. Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, the motion carries. Agenda item 6B, non-union contracts. Madam Superintendent.
I'd like Ms. Tomlinson to step up and just talk for just a brief minute about our non-union contracts that are being approved tonight. Uh-oh.
I'll just leave it like that. So we are bringing to you the 8 non-union contracts. That includes the 3 school principals, 4 central office members, and 1 accountability officer.
I'm sorry.
We're bringing to you the 8 non-union, I lost my train of thought.
Non-union contracts.
Contracts. That's the 3 school principals, the 4 central office members, and 1 accountability officer.
The recommendation from the administration is to approve the non-union contracts with the 3 building administrators, accountability officer,
4 central office.
and 4 central office personnel.
And just to add a little bit of information on those is 2 of the positions are lateral moves within the central office. One individual is moving into the pupil accounting position, and another individual is taking over the payroll position from their current position. So there's 2 lateral moves in central office.
The chair would entertain a motion relative to agenda item 6B, recommendation for non-union contracts.
So moved.
Moved by Member Walker. Second, Member Collins. Any questions, comments, discussion on the motion on the floor? Hearing or seeing none, call the roll, please.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Ms. Collins? Yes. Ms. Jarrett? Yes. Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, the motion carries. Agenda item 6C, teacher retirements. Madam Superintendent.
I'm going to ask Mrs. Tomlinson again to step up to the microphone for this. She's been here way longer than I have, and this is to honor, we have 3 retirees this evening. As I've already said, their combined years of service come to 98 years of service to our kids and our community. That's pretty awesome.
Sure. It is really bittersweet to honor all 3 of these ladies. I've worked with all of them since my start here in 2000. So I'm going to start with Deb Caligieri. Congratulations to you. Deb has done 25 years of service with us. She's participating via Zoom, so congratulations, Deb. I just remember working across the hall from you at King and how helpful you were and just how much stuff you had in your room. So, just always a great resource. So I'm going to be sad to see you go. So congratulations, Deb. Next is Linda Conti. Come on up here, Linda. Linda and I have worked together for 21 years, and most recently we worked together as King when she joined the special ed side. So I'm going to miss Linda and her organization and her resources and her helpfulness, and she's just an amazing teacher and such a blessing to come over to special ed. I'm going to make myself cry. So congratulations, Linda. So we do. And Deb, we have one for you too. So they're red roses, so we hope when you look at them, you'll remember Mount Clemens. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And finally, we have Patty Montgomery. And Patty was with us for 43 years, And when I first started, Patty was right next door to me, so she's also very near and dear to my heart, always so helpful. And Patty even taught my son in 3rd grade and was just an yeah. I know.
McFadden too, where is he? I taught him, he was a little shape boy.
An amazing part of this district, and you are definitely going to be missed.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you for all you have done for Mount Clemens.
Thank you, thank you.
Congratulations to our retirees. It's a rarity that there's someone in the district that's been here longer than me. Ms. Montgomery, you're one of those rarities that was here longer than me. And congratulations. And we're losing tremendous resources when you lose 3 people that accumulate almost 100 years of service. That's something that's invaluable, that's very, very difficult to replace. So we appreciate your service and your dedication to the district over the long haul. And I know you're not going to retire and sit down somewhere, but whatever it is that you choose to do, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
I would ask the board to amend the agenda to, at this time, to go into executive session for the purpose of, this is an expulsion? Okay.
Attorney-client privilege.
Chair would like to, someone to amend the agenda to go into executive session at this time for the purpose of attorney-client privileges. Moved by member Jarrett,
Approve, support.
second
Think of that.
member Walker. Any questions? Any questions, comments, or concerns on the motion on the floor? Hearing and seeing none, call the roll, please.
Ms. Jarrett?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, the motion carries. The meeting goes into executive session at 6:48 p.m. I would entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
So move.
Moved by Dr. McFadden,
Support.
second Ms. Walker. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, the meeting is out of executive session at 7:42. We're back in the regular session. Chair, is there a motion?
Mr. President, I have a motion for the floor. I move to rescind and restate student number 181004061.
Dr. McFadden moved to rescind the expulsion of student number 181004061. Is there support?
Support.
Second, Ms. Collins. Wasn't it? Yeah. Any questions, comments, discussion on the motion on the floor? Hearing or seeing none, call the roll, please.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, the motion carries. Next on the agenda, item 7, coming out of the Policy Committee. Madam Superintendent.
Well, actually, we are moving this to the Policy Committee members, and Ms. Collins will be talking to the board.
All right, Mrs. Collins.
Policies for first reading are in
Hi,
regards
Ms. Collins, we're
to
on,
discrimination,
Mr. Chair, we're gonna be in
non-discrimination,
policy
sex
committee.
education and programs and activities, video surveillance, criminal justice, information security, student records, school safety, food services, and wellness. These policies are generally updated based off legal changes. I believe they went into effect November 2021. I'm sorry, November 2020. So we're asking the board to enter the following policies for first reading. Policy 2260.01, Policy 2266, Policy 7440.01, Policy 8321, Policy 8330, Policy 8400, Policy 8500, and Policy 8510.
Ms. Collins, I asked the same question with your policy. Are these policies federal or state driven?
I believe there was a mix of both on these policies.
But they're either state or federal. It's
Correct.
not something that we can, we can approve or not approve. It's
Correct.
something that, okay, thank you. These policies are for the first reading. Are there any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, the chair would entertain a motion to receive these policies as presented for first reading.
So
Mr. President,
It is moved by Member Walker to receive these policies for first reading.
support.
Second by Dr. McFadden. Any questions, comments, concerns regarding the motion on the floor? Hearing or seeing none, call the roll, please.
Yes.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Jarrett? Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes. Policies for the first reading have been received. Mrs. Collins, we have some policies for action tonight.
Now, these were presented at the last meeting, so we move for the following policies to be entered in for second reading. Policy 1422, policies 1623, 1662, 2260, 3122, 3123, 3362, 4122, 4123, 4362, and 5517.
These policies are here for the second reading and adoption by the board. The chair would entertain a motion relative to agenda item 7B, the adoption, second reading of the policies here entered.
So moved.
Moved by Member Walker,
Support.
second by Member O'Neill to adopt the second reading of policy 1422, policy 1623, policy 1662, policy 2260, policy 3122, policy 3123, policy 3362, policy 4122, policy 4123, policy 4362, and policy 5517. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns on the motion on the floor? Hearing or seeing none, call the roll, please.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Jarrett? Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, the motion carries. Next item on the agenda are from the Business and Finance Committee. Agenda item 8A, small business loan, SBL loan refinance. Mrs. Gill.
This one, I'd like to pass this on to Mrs. Potter. And it may help just if you, I was just gonna say, just sit right
Yeah,
there.
you can sit right there, yeah.
You can, right.
Yeah, that mic's on.
Sorry, everybody.
No, it might be easier to hear you.
Okay. The school bond refinance is a proposal that was made at the workshop last week by PFM. This is an opportunity for the school district to refinance the school bond loan, which means we would pay it off in total in September, about a month before the next payment is due. It does mean that we would borrow in excess of $16 million. But the savings on paying off the school bond loan over the course of the next 9 years would save the district $840,000 because the principal and interest over the next 9 years on the school bond loan will be in excess of $17 million. In addition to this, it allows the district to begin levying less debt mills on the property tax every summer. And so we are requesting that the school board approve a motion for us to begin the process of the refinance.
You've heard the recommendation. The chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Dr. McFadden that we approve the school bond loan refinancing.
Support.
Second, Ms. Collins. Are there any questions, comments, discussion on the motion on the floor?
This item here was discussed in detail at the committee meeting and also at the committee workshop as a whole.
Yes, sir.
No major changes.
Any additional questions, comments, concerns on the motion on the floor? Hearing or seeing none, call the roll, please.
Dr. McFadden,
Yes.
Ms. Collins,
Yes.
Ms. Jarrett. Yes. Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
Mr. Rickman.
Yes, the motion carries. Item 8B, original 2021-2022 budget. Ms. Potter.
Thank you, Mr. Rickman. We did have a hearing about this earlier this evening. The budget proposal will represent the spending plan of the district. We are expecting to end our fund balance for the 21-22 school year in excess of $1.5 million and 6.6% fund balance. This will be an increase of 1.1 over our projected ending fund balance this year of 5.5%, and overall is a massive increase from the 1920 ending fund balance of 1.9%. We are asking the board to approve the budget as it has been presented.
You've heard the recommendation. The chair would entertain a motion relative to agenda item 8B, the original 2021-2022 budget.
So moved.
Moved by Dr. McFadden, second by Member Walker. Any questions, comments, discussion, or motion on the floor? This has been discussed at the board workshop. Ad nauseum has been discussed at the finance subcommittee. It was presented earlier today in the public hearing. Any additional questions, comments, concerns from the board? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Dr. McFadden,
Yes.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
Ms. Collins,
Yes.
Ms. Jarrett. Yes. Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Mr. Rickman.
Yes, the motion carries. Next item on the agenda, item 8C, state aid note. Mrs. Potter.
Thank you, Mr. Rickman. This is a normal activity for Mount Clemens Community School District. The district will be seeking a state aid note, which is basically an advance loan on our state aid payments for the 21-22 school years in the amount of $1 million. We are asking the board to approve the resolution to seek this state aid loan.
You've heard the recommendation regarding agenda item 8C, state aid note, borrowing of $1 million. Chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Member Walker,
Support.
second, Member O'Neill. Any questions, comments, discussion on the motion on the floor? Hearing or seeing none, call the roll, please.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Collins,
Yes.
Ms. Jarrett. Yes. Dr. McFadden,
Yes.
Mr. Rickman.
Yes, the motion carries. Next on the agenda, item 8D, pest control bids. Mrs. Potter.
Thank you, Mr. Rickman. This is a bid or a request for quotes that the district put out earlier this year in February to seek compliance with IPM components for pest control with the state of Michigan. We did reach out to several companies. 3 responded back. Of the 3, only 2 provided a quote for services. And we are recommending Elite Pest Management. I do need to state for the record that Elite Pest Management is connected to me personally, although they did not receive any special information from me. The same email was sent to all companies we reached out. They were all copied on a blind copy line. They all received the same information. So the information on the quotes has been provided to the board, and we are asking that you approve for IPM pest control in the district.
You've heard the recommendation. The chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Member Walker,
Support.
second by Member Collins. Can you, Ms. Potter, what is IPM?
IPM stands for Integrated Pest Management.
Any additional questions, comments, concerns on the motion on the floor? Hearing and seeing none, call the roll, please.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Jarrett?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, the motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Potter, for exposing, not exposing, but telling us of that information regarding the company. Moving the agenda, next on the agenda, item 9, MHSAA membership resolution. The recommendation is to adopt the Michigan High School Athletic Association annual membership resolution. The chair would entertain a motion relative to agenda item 9.
So move.
Moved by Dr. McFadden,
Support.
second by Mrs. Collins. Any questions, comments, concerns on the motion on the floor? Hearing or seeing none, call the roll, please.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Moten, sir. Ms. Jarrett? Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, the motion carries. Next on the agenda are informational items. Item 10, informational items coming out of the Business Committee. A, financial reports. Any questions regarding the financial reports? What's that? You got a question over there?
Yes, he does.
Item B, open purchase order listings. You still got questions, okay. Item C, contract listings. Item D, facilities listings. I have a question regarding facilities. Do we have any updated information regarding Carnes Center? Because I think back in, was it January, February, or March maybe, this board passed a resolution indicating, directed to the city that June 30th, the district would be turning over the responsibility of the Carnes Center to the city. I know we've been working with the city. Are there any updates, Mrs. Beal?
I don't necessarily have an update right now. I do know that the city is entering negotiations with the Boys and Girls Club to help take over the center. They've asked some help from us on what on the contract we had with Jermaine Jackson when he was there at Carnes Center. So all we need is just a quick meeting to figure out how to turn over the keys.
Any additional questions regarding facilities listings? Thank you, Mrs. Beals.
Okay.
Item 11, superintendent's comments. We have A, configuration of the COVID learning plan, but you can have a B and C if you like also.
Yeah, I'm going to have like B, C, D, and E. All right, I'll be quick though. This is our last reconfirmation of the of our return to learn plan. Remember, all of you know that school ended for our kids on June 11th. But one of the things I do need to report to the board is our two-way interactions for all of the 4 weeks between our last board meeting and this board meeting. So we averaged, our lowest was at 97.23%, and our highest participation rate was at 98.67%. The kids really stepped up, particularly at the high school. We had 100% participation at the high school the last 4 weeks of school, which is really pretty awesome. So kudos to the teachers and to Mr. Duncan and the kids. So just a few more things. One of the things I wanted to talk about today, just for a minute, is I know that you've been seeing in the news, or possibly not, I don't know, just conversations about critical race theory and what's happening in schools. And I just want you to know that our students, I want our students and our parents and the board to know as well that our school, that our teachers, our administrators, all of us are committed to justice. We're committed to equality, and we are committed to confronting racism in our schools, in the world, in all of the systems that we have anything to do with. Today, we had an interesting meeting during MACA, which is the curriculum group for Macomb County, and Tony Lewis was there, and Tony Lewis is from the Michigan Department of Civil Rights, and right now they are developing a curriculum, kind of Civil Rights 101, and our teachers will be involved in that, in helping to develop that curriculum. So we're excited about that possibility. So I wanted to just mention that. I do want to bid a fond farewell to our 3 retirees. I just really appreciate all the years and hard work that have been spent educating our children. And Mr. McFadden, you were missed when we did that little ceremony because Mrs. Montgomery spoke highly of you.
No, she didn't. She said you was a terrible student.
She said she taught you, you were bad.
That's why I'm turning around now.
I'd also, congratulations to our 5 teachers who received tenure, Jean Gulliver, Juliana Simpson, Andy Busher, Alora, and Terry Gehring. We really appreciate all that you're doing, and we're very happy that you're here. And I also want to just let everyone know, I want you all to have a safe and happy summer. Enroll in summer school. It's really important. We have a huge enrollment right now. We have room for all of you. So please enroll in our summer school, and at best, read. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. Next on the agenda, committee reports. Any additional information coming out of the Business and Finance Committee?
No.
No additional information coming out of the Business and Finance Committee. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Community Coalition, Mr. Linenberry. No report from the Community Coalition. Thank you, Mr. Linenberry. Curriculum Personnel. Any information, update coming out of the Curriculum Personnel Committee? Okay, no information. All right. Mr. Linenberg, Educational Foundation.
All the report is we gave out a lot of money this year.
How many scholarships?
10. All 10.
10? All 10? Okay. Great. Thank you, sir. The policy, any additional information coming out of policy? You had a lot coming tonight. Any additional? Thank you, Mrs. Collins. The Legislative Committee, I sent an email last week from the notes from the Legislative Committee, and a lot of it was around ESER 2 and 3 in terms of what the county's position is around those two initiatives. We moved agenda item 13 up earlier in the meeting, so we go to agenda item 14, board comments. We'll start with Ms. O'Neill.
I want to, again, congratulate all those, the 3 teachers that we have that retired. Again, Ms. Montgomery was, she taught all of my children, and actually my daughter was just talking about her a few weeks ago. how she demanded them to know their timetables by memory. So she was a great teacher, and this has been a year to remember. So I just want to say that everybody have a happy and safe and restful summer, and I hope to come, if it's okay, to peek through here during the summer, see what's going on, and help out wherever I can. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Mrs. O'Neill. Mrs. Collins?
Congratulations to our retirees and all of our teachers that made tenure. Saturday was a beautiful day. I'm excited for our graduates, and I'm happy that our kids get to enjoy their summer and hopefully come back to the fall with a lot more normality. Other than that, that's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Collins. Dr. McFadden?
Yes, since I wasn't here for it, I want to give my respects for the retirees, Ms. Conte, Ms. Montgomery, and Ms. Caligari. You know, Ms. Montgomery was one of my instructors when I was a wee high to a tadpole. But yeah, they will all be missed. And Saturday was a wonderful opportunity. I believe our ceremony was pretty amazing. It was pretty good, and it was very exciting. And to our graduates, the future looks great. Definitely gonna look better than last year. I can promise you that. That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. McFadden. Mrs. Jarrett? Any comments?
Yes, I have just a few. First, I want to congratulate the three retirees. I'm very, in awe of your service. And I would like to wish you fair winds and following seas as you sail into retirement. I wasn't there on Saturday, but I want to congratulate the students who graduated, and I wish you the best in your journeys to the future. And the students who are no longer in school, and the parents and everyone as well. Especially I want to applaud the teachers, administrators, and staff for a successful completion of this tough year. You navigated it, all the difficulties with aplomb, and just did a stellar job. I'm so proud of everyone. That's really all my comments. And remember, once a bather, always a bather. Hoorah!
No, you got another comment to make.
Oh, yes. Okay, so this is my last meeting, and I'm moving to another state, so I'm unfortunately not able to continue on, but I have enjoyed my service with the school district, and I'm so proud of everyone working with the great people on the board and doing everything. You know, I learned so much. I learned more than I thought I would, and I was able to help in navigating those difficulties as well. So thank you very much for everyone. I want to, I won't forget anything, and I'm hoping I can stop by and sit in a meeting one time when I come back to that area. Thank you all. I really appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, Ms. Jarrett. Before I make my comments, with the advent of Mrs. Jarrett resigning from the board because of her moving, we have 30 days from tomorrow to put in a replacement for Mrs. Jarrett. I would like, and I don't know if we want to do it now or want to do it via email, but we need a special workshop, committee of the whole, so we can go over the parameters and what it is that we need to do to replace a board member. By law, we have 30 days, so we need to do this ex post haste. We have to advertise it. We have to determine what is the process that we're going to use. Generally, when the board has to be replaced, board member has to be replaced, there are several ways that boards do it. Sometimes the board will go back to the most recent election and ask the person that did not get elected if they willing to serve. That won't work in this instance because there were 4 people running for 4 seats. So it means we have to set up an interview process by which that we have to have open meetings and where we interview candidates for the board replacement. So I don't know if the board is in a position tonight to come up with a date or some dates that we can look at. I would like to have as many board members as possible at the work session so we can go over all the information. Again, I don't know if we're in a position to do it tonight, or I send an email out to all the board members tonight or tomorrow, trying to put dates so we can narrow down a date and a time so we can get this ball rolling. Because again, we have 30 days by which to advertise, interview, and select someone to replace Mrs. Jarrett. If we don't do it in 30 days, that responsibility of appointing a board member falls on the onus of the ISD. So I'd like feedback from my colleagues whether or not we want to do it tonight or we want to go look at our calendars, and I'll send an email asking a couple of dates and see what shakes out.
Is that 30 business days or 30 calendar days?
It's 30 calendar days.
We want a date during the week or on a Saturday?
It doesn't matter, I'm open to any suggestions. And again, if the board is not in a position to do it tonight, I understand that, but we need to do this expeditiously.
I say send an email out, let's go from there.
All right. We can do that. All right. Okay. My comments. I would like to reiterate the comments that I made earlier in the meeting regarding our retirees, Ms. Conti, Ms. Montgomery, and Ms. Caligari. When you lose 98 years of hands-on, dedicated, practical experience, that's something that's not very easily replaced. These women show tremendous dedication to this district over the long haul, and I wish them all well in whatever the future endeavors they do. And again, that kind of experience is impossible to replace. But I'm pretty sure that knowing these 3 women, they have probably had some newer teachers that they've mentored and worked with to provide them areas of expertise and helpful tips moving forward as they move further in their career here as educational instructional leaders for the district. I would like to say congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. They were small in numbers, but that's the only thing they were small in. They have big aspirations, they had big accomplishments. As I stated Saturday, this senior class had challenges that no other senior class in history has ever had. This has been a challenging school year, starting back in September. No school, we go to school, then we can't go to school. Zoom, no Zoom, in person 2 days a week, no in person, no days a week. So every day we were creating a new normal. Mask on, mask off, wash your hands, social distance, vaccinations, just a challenging year. And due to the dedication of our teaching staff and support staff, administrative staff, we're able to lead these seniors in their last year so they could complete all the requirements for graduation to be able to walk across the stage and receive their diplomas last Saturday. So kudos to the class of 2021, and kudos to the teaching staff that their hard work, dedication, creativity made it possible for these students to complete the requirements for graduation here at Mount Clemens High School, Mount Clemens Community School District. To Ms. Jarrett, I thank you for your service, your friendship, as we served on this board to provide the best quality educational experiences for the students that attend the Mount Clemens Public School. I know that oftentimes this is a thankless job and responsibility, and it is a job. There's times that I spend more time researching and reading over materials that I have to deal with at the board table than I do in my job that I get paid to do. So I really know it's a sacrifice that you made to serve on the board, and we wish you well in wherever you travel, because I know you said you're going to sell your home and get a fifth wheel and just travel around the country. So wherever you travel, we wish you well and safety in travel and whatever endeavors that you do. We wish you well. I think that's it. Those are my comments. The board would entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, we'll just sit here and talk about some other things. Nobody wants to go home. Oh, that's good.
So moved.
Moved by member. Where's Mr. Monk? He'd have been sputtered out. Moved by member Collins.
Support.
Second, member O'Neill.
Support.
Call the roll, please.
Such enthusiasm.
Ms. Collins,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Jarrett, Dr. McFadden,
Yes.
and Mr. Rickman.
Yes, the motion carries. Meeting's adjourned at 8:18 in the PM. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.